Guys, welcome back to another episode. This video is a recap of what happened today, June 1st of 2026, which is Monday. This trade over here gave over 6.71 risk to reward ratio, 9.8 pips stop loss, which is very tiny, 65.8 pips of take profit. So the trade pretty much performed real well and gave 6.7 times the stop loss, which is a very profitable technique. Okay, if you want to win in this game, you have to have a good risk to reward ratio. This is how you play the game of trading. If you're not doing that and you're only targeting 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, you're going to be losing in the long run. So if you haven't watched my previous video, that's where I explained exactly what I was expecting this week from the market. Go ahead and watch that video. This is the video that I posted yesterday prior to this last episode. So go watch that video, come back to this episode. I guarantee you will understand a lot then. Okay, now let's get into it. This concept is going to be how to execute a trade from a supply zone. Okay, let's say you have a supply zone here. We have a trade. Let's say we have a trade that's coming to a supply zone on the high time frame. On the 15-minute time frame, we're going to be waiting for a change of character, and then we're going to be executing the trade from the 15-minute supply zone. We're going to be putting our we're going to be putting our trade right here. We're going to be executing the trade. We put our stop loss right above the supply zone, and then we target the previous lows. This is exactly how the trade is. So now, without wasting much of your time, let's get into it, because I want to keep the time under 15 minutes. All right. Now, if we go to the monthly time frame, the reason why I go to the monthly time frame is not because I'm a swing trader. The reason why I go to the monthly time frame is because I want to see the overall direction of the market, because the higher time frame is more important than the lower time frame. The higher time frame is where the market is headed. So you have to have information from the higher time frame in order for you to execute a trade on the lower time frame. So if you look at the higher time frame, and this I explained yesterday, everything that you see on the chart is from the video, is in the video that I posted yesterday. So go watch that video if you haven't watched it yet again. All right, so in the last video I was basically teaching that you don't need to focus anything from here all the way back. Basically, this is from 1971, a data from 1971 to 1971 to right here, which is June of 2021, June 1st of 2021. All this from here to there, you don't need it. Okay, forget about it. Everything from here to all the way back there, that's too much data. You're not trading years of data. Forget about that. That's a waste of time. Okay, we're only focusing on what's going on here right now. We only focus on what's going on with this move, this here, and then this move. This is the main important move right here. Okay, so on the monthly time frame, we can see the market created a change of character. We can see the market created a change of character. We have a candle traded above the previous high of the last previous low candle. Therefore, this is a valid change of character. You don't have to worry about the color of the candles. It doesn't really matter. As long as we have a candle trading above the high of the previous low candle, that's all that matters. So we have a change of character. Once we go to the lower time frame, like the weekly time frame, it becomes very obvious. Okay, so we get the change of character. We have the high, and then we have higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then higher high. And then we have the trade playing out around here. And we can also have some sort of mini supply zone within a internal structure. All right. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, you're still focusing on this move. Okay. If you go to the weekly time frame, you can see everything becomes very clear. You can see all the inducements. Before every major move, there was an inducement. Before every major move, there's an inducement that's taken out. Inducement is a liquidity hunt. It's a way to fuel the big moves. Okay, in order for the big traders or the big billionaire traders, they need enough liquidity in order to fill their orders. They're not like retail traders, so they always create some sort of inducement in order to entice the retail traders to get into trading to get into the trade early. So they create this all the time in order to create manipulation. So you always have to watch out for that. So we can see market creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Each time there was a inducement that was taken out. Inducement is the first higher low for uptrend that's taken out. That's the inducement. For a downtrend, for uptrend, is after a break of a structure, the first higher low that's taken out is what we call an inducement. So the first higher low that's taken out is an inducement. Okay, for a downtrend, the first lower high that's taken out is what we call an inducement. Okay, that's what inducement is. Inducement is a way to entice the retail traders to get into the market early so that their stop losses can be used to fill the rest of the big player orders. Now that you understand what inducement means, we can see price creating higher high, higher low, and then higher high, and then higher low, which also took out an inducement. Now let's go to the daily time frame. If you go to the daily time frame, yesterday everything was right here. You can see the arrows. We had some sort of prediction, which is the market might end up going up from here, or might end up going down from here, targeting this major demand zone, which is a major imbalance that's going on over here. After this break of a structure, this area was never mitigated. There's a liquidity sitting over here, and there's also a sell side liquidity sitting over here. So therefore, we expected that two things might happen. We might see price continue to the upside from here, or we might see price continue to the downside from here, and then target the lower on for the next few months. All right, now let me go to the 4-hour time frame. Before you execute a trade, remember you have to build a case. Okay, you cannot just go to the lower time frame and enter a trade without knowing what's going on the higher time frame. It is always important to know what's happening on the higher time frame in order to execute a trade. So on the 4-hour time frame, we can see one thing over here. Okay, on the 4-hour time frame, we can see price created higher high. We can see the higher high from the monthly time frame right there. This is all a pullback. Okay, we can see the inducement that was taken out. We can also see within here there is an internal play out that's going on. We can see that price created higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then price created a lower low, creating a change of character on the 4-hour time frame. Price reacted around this area of supply zone right here, and then that's what created this major move to the downside, which also, if you look at this move, we go to the 1-hour time frame. Now let's analyze what's going on this move here. Let's analyze on what's going on this move right here. We can see we have a high high, high low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Price reacted on the 4-hour time frame supply zone, and then we can see the reaction. Okay, we can see the reaction. Now let's go to the 15-minute time frame. If you go to the 15-minute time frame, everything becomes very obvious. All right, it becomes more clear. The lower you go, the better. On the 15-minute time frame to the supply zone, we can see price creating higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and a change of character. Change of character means it's a shift. Once the price tapped on the area of a supply zone, this major supply zone, it created a shift to the downside. Okay, this is all an internal structure. This is an internal structure creating a change of character. So therefore, now market went up to retest. If you go to the 5-minute time frame, there is a clear supply zone sitting right here. There is a clear supply zone sitting right here. You can see the pressure. Once the price tapped on the high time frame, 4-hour time frame supply zone, the sellers came into the market. They started pushing the price to the downside. You can see the long wick, which is a proof that the sellers overpowered the buyers. Okay, the sellers overpowered the buyers, which also left a imbalance over here. The low of this candle and the high of this candle, there was an imbalance going on. So therefore, this is a valid supply zone on the 5-minute time frame. Okay, so once we get that on the 5-minute time frame, once we get that on the 5-minute time frame, we wait for the price to return to the 5-minute time frame supply zone. Once the price tapped on the 5-minute time frame supply zone, we don't hesitate. We go ahead and set up our trade, put our entry over here. We put our stop loss right above the 5-minute time frame, the 15-minute time frame supply zone, right there, about 9.8 pips. It's always good to keep your stop loss as tight as possible so that you can target higher risk to reward ratio. And this is how you play the game. You do this multiple times, and that's how you come up winning. If I lose for the next 3 trades, I'm still gonna be profitable, because why? This trade alone gave 6.71 risk to reward ratio. It gave 6.7 times my stop loss. So if I lose for the next 3 trades, I'm still gonna be profitable no matter what. And this is how you play the game. If you're targeting 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio or 1-to-2 risk to reward ratio, you're not going to be profitable. You're not going to make it. That is going to kill your trading account, and you're going to end up always funding your account without understanding the game. The secret of this game is always targeting a higher risk to reward ratio. Target more than you're always losing. If your stop loss is $50, make sure you target at least $150. Okay, if your stop loss is 10 pips, target 30 pips. 30 pips. This is 3 times your stop loss. If you play the game right, you will come up a winner in the end of time. Anyways, so we have the change of character on the 5-minute time frame. Price reversed to a 5-minute time frame supply zone. You can see the imbalance and everything else. Very clear, very clear. You can see the imbalance right here. Right after that, we executed the trade right here. Stop loss goes above the supply zone, 9.8 pips, and the target is on the 30-minute time frame. The target is on the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, you can see one thing. You can see low, high, higher low, high, high. So there's a higher low led to higher high, taking out previous higher high. So this area becomes a major demand zone. So somehow I knew market was going to come down here, because this is an extreme area of demand zone that I targeted. This is a extreme area of demand zone that I targeted. You can see there is a imbalance going on over here. There is a mini liquidity hunt that happened. There is an imbalance between the high of this candle and the low of this candle. This area needs to be filled no matter what, and this is what we call a discounted price zone. So I targeted this area, and that's exactly how it played out. And right after that, price reacted right away and then reversed, and then I ended up entering another trade after this engulfing here, and then my target was right here. So but the major thing is this trade here. This is the major thing. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and recap this real quick. How you execute a trade. Let's say this is a supply zone. Let's say market is trading up. Market comes to a major supply zone. This is going to be your last higher low led to the higher high, breaking structure. You wait for a shift on the lower time frame, and then you go ahead and mark your 15-minute time frame of the 5-minute time frame supply zone, and then this is where you're going to be executing your trade. You're putting your stop loss right above the supply zone, and you target the sell side liquidity. All right, that's exactly how you trade from a supply zone. On vice versa, if you want to take a trade from a demand zone, you just do the opposite of that. On a demand zone, what you're going to be doing is, let's say this is a demand zone. Okay, if this is a demand zone, let's say market is coming down very fast all the way down here. This is the last low led to the lower low, taking out this break of structure, creating this break of structure. On the 15-minute time frame, once the price hits the supply zone, the demand zone, you wait for a change of character. Once you get the change of character on the 15-minute time frame or the 5-minute time frame, you're going to go ahead and mark your 5-minute or 15-minute time frame demand zone. You wait for the trade to return to the lower time frame demand zone. You put your stop loss right beneath the demand zone, and then you target the buy side liquidity. So this is how you trade the market. Okay, this is how you trade the market. By the way, my name is Jamal. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you want to get the whole concept of what this video is about, go ahead and watch the video that I posted yesterday prior to this video. Okay, today is June 1st, Monday, 2026. Go watch the video before that to understand this video. By the way, again, until next time, stay profitable and keep your account protected. Peace.